Good evening, everybody.
Hey y'all,
Hey, what's
hey,
going
happy
on? What's going
Sunday.
on? We are glad to see you all here again once more for the His Voice, Her Vibe podcast.
Yes, yes,
Today
yes.
we have a very, very, very good, very, very, very hot topic that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about uh, dating in our adult life or in our adult years, potential versus reality. But before we get into that, let's go ahead, we'll jump into our disclaimer and then we'll kind of preface it and then we'll get started.
Without further ado, we are first and foremost, we're not your therapists, we're not your counselors, we're not your psychiatrists. We are not your primary care physician. So, we're here to just share conversation, open conversation, adult conversation with you. We want you to chime in, converse with us, give us your thoughts, your feelings, like, share, all the above. But we want you to seek help if you really, really need it. If you're really needing help, we advise you to contact someone in your local area. I believe in the Kansas area is 411. And if you can't do that, call 911 if all else fails for a medical or a psychiatric or mental emergency. They will be able to help you with that. But right now, we're just here to talk. We're here to converse and we're here to give it to you, us, unfiltered, his voice, her vibe.
Absolutely. And so, again, tonight we're going to be talking about dating in our adult lives, potential versus reality. And if I'm being honest, I think all of us at some point in our lives have found ourselves dating people in the stage of potential where we looked at things that they did and we were able to in our minds just somewhat visualize how we felt that that person was going to be, when we were dating them. We saw them as, oh well, hey, this person does this or this person does that, and we have all of these nice green flags that we like to see and that we like to look at. But if we're being honest, we're looking at them through a jaded lens, and it's like we date what it is that we see for the moment, not thinking about how things could be potentially later. And so we're going to discuss that today. We have some very good conversation that I believe is going to come out of this. Those of you that are on, please like, tag, share, subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yes.
Hey, get on there in the comments, man, and tag somebody. Tell them to join this conversation, because let's just be honest and let's be real. All of us have dated for potential at one point or another. And so
Potential versus reality.
that's what we're talking about today. That's what we talk about
Ooh,
today.
potential versus reality. So, just to give you a little background, the phrase dating potential versus reality refers to the difference between who a person could become, their potential, and who they consistently show they are now, their reality. It is a common concept in relationship counseling because many people stay in relationships based on hope for future change rather than present behavior.
Hold
So
on.
basically,
Go ahead.
you wishing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but signing yourself up for what is right now.
Wow.
Potentially, they could be this person. Potentially, they could meet all my needs. Potentially, they will change. In reality, you're seeing exactly who they are.
It's almost as though, in a sense, what we do is when you date potential, that's the story that you tell yourself about that particular person. You're not looking at things in the scope of reality, I guess, since that's what we're talking about. But again, it's like what she was saying, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I see this person, you know, um, journaling. So, in journaling, that it seems like that person may be emotionally, up,
Sound.
and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
attached. And oh my God, I can't believe that he journals. He's so in touch with his emotions and
He
his
goes to
feelings.
church.
Yeah, oh, he goes to church or she goes to church. And oh, they're so spiritual because they go to church. And all of that looks good on paper.
Right.
But that's the thing. when you're looking at what's on paper, it's easy to misjudge and it's easy to cloud your vision. But the real test of reality is what is happening in real time. When you can get past the facade, when you can get past the representative.
Now that's good. That's good. That's good. Because I think we all, at times, show up as our representative.
I can agree with that.
Specifically when you're dating, for a lot of reasons, people show up as a representative. I don't want them to know that I have these hurts. I don't want them to know that I ain't got no money, my bank account is negative.
Right.
I don't want them to know that I'm still trying to work on my high school diploma. I don't want them to know I got 5 kids with 5 different men. Like, we show
Wow.
up as a representative of who we think that individual wants us to be. And I think, first and foremost, that's problem number one out the gate.
Yeah.
Because what in you says you can't authentically be you? And what about that person says they won't authentically accept you?
Yeah.
That was good. If I do say so myself, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Dating the idea of the person
Yeah.
has gotten a lot of us in trouble. And if I'm just being honest, I mean, just throughout my dating life, at this big old age of 53, going on 54 in July next month, yeah, I've fallen victim to dating the potential of a person, looking at them, and honestly, because of the things that I saw that I liked.
Be more specific.
No.
What did you like? What did you like? They have a big booty?
Oh, well, I mean, hey, that's, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I
mean,
can't stand
my
you.
wife got one.
Moving along.
It is what it is. What? That ain't a bad thing.
What else did you like?
That's a good thing. But I mean, hey, I've let's see. Okay. I kind of put myself out there.
So, like, was it, this is a better question, maybe easier for you to answer. So was it the outside appearance that you liked, or was it the inside, or were they journaling, or?
I think it was a combination of both, depending on who it was.
So I'm just interested
for
in.
for some it was the outside.
Okay.
I'll just be honest.
Okay.
For some it was the outside because of course men are visual. That's the first things that we see.
We are
so yeah, and I believe that. But I think more so, it's always been said in society that it's men.
Okay.
Men are visual. So we see the face, we see the hair, we see the body, we see all of the things. And so if those things are appealing to us, then okay, let me see, what's to her. Let me see, what's going on and explore, a little bit further. And so for some, once for me, once you get past that, okay, well, let me see what you about. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that you have to quote unquote speak well, but can you hold a conversation?
Okay.
Are you a person that can actually somewhat cook? Because I mean, anybody that knows me for real knows I burn. So I do. It's the truth.
You all right.
Girl, please. I burn, and y'all know it. Those that
along.
know for real know. And so with that, don't try to hush me and move me along. And so that, that's something else that I may look at. Or I may look at, do you go to church? Because I'm super heavily involved. Now that we've kind of moved, I won't say that we're not involved because we are, but at one point in my life, I was heavily involved.
Definitely like we used to.
Yeah, heavily involved in
we gonna
church.
do better.
So, with that, are you involved in church? What are your thought patterns in terms of, being a Christian and morality? How are you, with your family? Do you do a lot with your family? Or if you don't, why not? You know what I'm saying? The background. So it just really just kind of depends, honestly. Why are you laughing? She is a giggle box tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I can't quit thinking about when we first.
What the heck?
When we first started dating, like one of the first things I told you, because I assumed you had a profile, and I was like, I ain't gonna be wearing all that makeup and my hair nappy, and I'm not straightening it and getting no. What? Do you remember when I told you that?
I do.
Oh, God.
What the heck?
And I could not stop laughing because all I could think about was that first conversation. Like, I was so intentional about out the gate telling you that I was not going to change.
Right.
And so that just made me laugh because, I mean, it didn't matter to you.
No.
I mean, all these years later, I still got nappy hair, really. I mean,
You know
it is
what?
it is. I'm just saying. It ain't a baby fro no more, though.
It's not a baby fro
It's a
no
big
more.
fro.
It is a big fro.
So, but I'm just saying that what I thought your reality was,
What my preference was.
what I thought your preference
Uh-huh.
was, what I thought the potential in me needed to have was so not the core of what you were looking for.
Right.
And that made me laugh because all I could do was remember that conversation and you were texting me back like, where did you get that from?
Like literally.
Okay, yeah, I'm
I mean,
sorry.
I
I'm
don't
so
know.
sorry.
I don't know if I gave off those vibes. But I mean, for me, again, just kind of putting me out there, that really didn't matter to me. If that's what you rocked, if you rocked a wig and all the
But
time
he
or
gonna tell you your
sometime
lace front showing.
or
Now I will
whatever,
say that.
and whatever it is that you did, that's what you did. And
I
so, yeah, and so it was never, a thing like that for me. Do I want you to look good? Absolutely.
And I
mean,
think, in all reality, that's all that matters.
it is.
Mattered then and still to you because, we'll do a lace front check real quick.
Oh yeah,
Baby's let me look in the sun.
and I have no problem.
Is my
Babe, your
lace
lace is
being,
showing.
yeah, and we go fix that.
Hey, and that's what it is.
Y'all know sometimes I have to borrow his little beard brush in the car. I got to get right.
Oh
But
Lord.
I'm taking us down. I have gotten us off track.
Oh my
family,
God.
And I
Oh
apologize.
my God.
But
So let me put Monique's comment back up. Monique Brown said that men are visual, and you're absolutely correct. I was always told that you don't want to get nobody that nobody else won't, and I know that sounds crazy, but I think that there's somebody for everybody too. What some people may deem as unattractive or ugly or whatever, there is somebody
for everybody
that out there that doesn't think that person is ugly or unattractive. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, yeah, we've kind of gotten a little bit off topic because she over here cracking up.
I am so sorry.
But it's all cool. But at the end of the day, that's what we do a lot of when it comes to our perception, or not our perception, but our potential, dating potential versus reality. What we're doing is we're dating the person that we see right in front of us without looking deeper. And I think that that's one of the major problems, especially in our adult lives now, that if you're not careful and you start to do that and you run into that, then you put yourself on the chopping block for potential heartbreak, because at our big age, you honestly have to gauge what it is that you really want from a person and who you're dealing with.
I agree. I also think, like for me, I've erred a lot in my singleness, dating for potential, because I have a heart of always wanting to see the good in people.
Yeah.
And I had a fix-it mentality where if a person isn't where they may want to be, or maybe I was even wrong in where I wanted them to be, that I could coach them into getting there.
That's good.
And so I have made the mistake of settling because I felt like this person has potential. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, what I learned in all that was a person can be a great person, but not a great mate for me.
Right.
A person can be a great person and still aspire to reach their dreams and to reach their goals, but that doesn't have to involve me. And it is, again, not my job to save somebody who's an adult.
Right.
That wasn't my role. Mm-hmm. And I think I had to figure out, after falling for the shenanigans, for lack of better terms, I had to figure out what in me felt like I just had to be with somebody. So I had to accept things where I knew I deserved better.
Right. It's something that you said actually triggered something. It was a video that I watched a little bit earlier, and I don't want to say the name of the lady. It was, she has this podcast, and it was a very good podcast. And I'm going to throw this out as a question. because this was something that was talked about, and it actually falls in line with what it is that we're talking about. Because you mentioned the word of coaching, and
Mhm.
so there was somebody that was talking to her and asking her a question, and the question came up: how long should you teach someone how to love you?
Mhm.
And it was a good question to me, because I think a lot of times what we do, especially in the potential stage of dating, is that we talked about it a lot of times, and it's something that you mentioned on the last podcast. A lot of times, and it's something that you have to get past. I think that people go in with the mindset of believing that a person should just know.
Mhm.
You should just know how to love me. You should just know how to talk to me. You should just know if I'm feeling some type of way, what you need to do to make me feel better and everything else. And that question was posed, and I actually answered it. And my answer was, and I hope y'all can hear the direction that I'm coming from with my answer. My answer was is that you should be consistently teaching. And the
Yeah.
reason that I say that you should be consistently teaching someone how to love you, especially even in the potential stage, first off, you need to set what your expectations are in the potential stage.
Yes.
You don't allow the potential stage to just be what it is, and then you just, we floating through life, and then when you decide, oh well, I want to be serious, or this may go somewhere, then you set your expectation. No, you set your expectation in the beginning. But I believe that you should be ever teaching someone how to love you, because as you matriculate through the seasons with whoever it is that you're with, whether it be months, whether it be years, whether it be, several
Decades,
years,
right?
you're not going to be, I hope, the same person that you were 2 years from you 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. So there are going to be different things that you have to do, and you have to show, and you have to articulate that to me, you'll be teaching someone.
Yeah. And you have to be willing to do that. But I think that when you're teaching, that person also has to have the foundational skills,
Yes,
and I think that that's where potential versus reality comes more into play.
I can agree with
Is a
that.
person if a person doesn't have the foundation, the foundational skills required to give you what you need, then you're still in the potential phase. It's not reality.
That's true.
You're still not living in the reality, and that goes along with if you're trying to show someone what you're needing down through the months and the years and the decades or whatever, what you're needing, love, whatever it may be. Like you said, we're ever changing, but if they never had the foundational skills
Hmm.
required
Right.
to provide that to you, then you still way back at ground zero.
So then the question becomes, when do you decide finally to cut ties? Because at some point, if you see that you have moved past potential into the next phase, but this person is still stuck in potential, how long do you spin your wheels?
I think that's different for different. Everybody's threshold is different.
Okay, I believe that.
Personally, I have a very
Yeah,
small.
your tolerance is short.
I have
You are
very
not going to stick around long.
no,
You're not.
no.
I can attest to this, y'all. I can. I honestly can. But also, I think that for us, when we were, I guess, in the potential stage, of things, I don't think that we had to necessarily stay there a long time because we already knew each other.
Hmm.
So we had a leg up
Hmm.
um, on that. But I don't know. I wonder how it would have been, though, had we not known each other. I wonder how that would have been.
I probably would have thought you were a weirdo
But, well, yeah. Why, though? How did you get that? What do you mean?
because you know you
No, enlighten
because you're
me.
different.
Different how?
So you are very reserved and quiet, and you're a lot better now than what you used to be. but you're very reserved and quiet. And I'm like that only for a little while. You're like that because that's who you are. And so, had I not known you before, like you really do have a cooler, more sociable side, you'd have been too weird for me because I need somebody who's going to talk and laugh and joke. You're out the gate not like that. And
No.
even now, at different times, you're still quiet to a certain extent. I mean, you'll never be at my 100, but I don't expect you to be.
Yeah.
But I just think that I would have probably been like, oh yeah, he a weirdo. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Wow. You heard it first.
I would.
She would have thought I was a weirdo
If
had she
I
not known
had
me.
not known him, I would have thought that because I mean, you didn't go out a lot. You didn't. You kind of stuck to yourself. Um, yeah, you preferred to be at home, and I won't say that I preferred to be out in the streets all the time because that's not either. And I'm not saying that makes a person weird. I think for me, you were just a lot more reserved, and for me, that's uncomfortable. That was uncomfortable. That would have been even more uncomfortable had I not already known you for years. And that's just Norris. He's just quiet. He's laid back. He stays in his own corner. But if he knows you, you know, y'all can chat, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I just think that would have been for me at that mature phase of life. It would have been like, oh, I ain't got time to bring him up to speed.
So I'm not the rah-rah person, as most of you know.
But that's just who you are.
That's who I am, though.
I mean, you know, I have to work on you. We go places, and you are standing there just looking. And I'm like, can you please act like you having a good time?
I am having a good time, but I'm also scoping the scene.
And what's wrong with Norris? He all right? Everything okay?
And there's nothing wrong with me. I'm scoping the scene. This is what I do.
People see that, and sometimes I think that you have to realize that sometimes in some settings that are social, you can come off as being rude sometimes. You come off as that rude dude. Rude dude.
I don't believe it.
Okay, anyway, this ain't about us. Y'all, here we are.
Here we
Back
are.
on topic. What you got
Back
for
on
comments?
topic. So Artina Mayholm says, I love when couples keep each other looking right. He checks my lace, I check his everything. LOL.
That part, sis, because you need to go change those pants. They're not going to work. I told y'all about them favorite pair of pants. Yeah.
What? Whose favorite pair? What favorite pair? What you talking about, babe? What favorite pair of pants?
Them pants I told you need to quit wearing.
You tell me that about like 3, 4, 5 pair of
Well,
pants.
then you need to quit wearing.
That's not, hey. Crispy the truth, Christy, I done called her Crispy. I'm sorry, Christy. Christy the truth whisperer
Hey,
says,
girl, hey.
some people struggle with being honest with themselves, which prevents them from being honest with others. I agree. Society forces expectations down the throats of those who are easily impressionable. Society forces expectations, so they enter in under false pretenses. Beginning on a lie is never good. Hold on, it went off. I'm sorry, Christy. Second, honest needs, desires are non-negotiables and are discussed far too late.
Ooh.
You said something there.
That last part, you said a mouthful, because I do think that people aren't honest about their needs. And I also think that they aren't honest about what they desire. And I think those are two of the main reasons why a lot of relationships don't make it. Because when they get to it, when they finally get around to discussing it, it's more of a sense of, I ain't never been like that. I ain't never did it. So now why are you trying to change me?
Right.
When you should have spoke that out the gate. This is what I require. And that sounds demanding, but that's just the truth. I mean, maybe y'all sugarcoat it a little bit easier or smoother or whatever than I do, but there were requirements. And everybody should have their own set of requirements.
And I know, I mean, truth for me is that it's, how can I put this? I believe that you should have requirements, but if you don't necessarily know what the requirements are that you want, it's hard for you to detail them to anybody. And if you've never been in a position where you've actually been in a relationship with somebody that actually, for lack of a better term, demands requirements from you, you know what I'm saying? Then, I mean, how do you know? You know what I mean? In our specific, relationship, like you said, there were certain things that, hey, these are the things that, I'm needing. And we had that discussion. In the beginning, I can't necessarily say that I was like, hey, well, these are the things that I'm needing too. But I think over time, as we were moving and we were growing and we were developing our relationship and different things, then there started to be things that I did see. Oh, okay, well, I kind of need this over here, or I need that over there. And again, I mean, just the truth of the matter is that I didn't really know, because I don't know. And this is gonna sound bad when I say this, but it could be that I was somewhat maybe floating on autopilot, in previous relationships.
I don't think I think that's true, because I think that you struggled a lot with verbalizing what it was you needed and what it was you wanted.
Right.
I mean,
That's an
because
absolute truth.
I am a person that communicates, I had no problem with
Right.
telling you that here, A through Z.
Right.
And it's okay. And I think that that's also, one area where individuals make the mistake in dating is, I'm going to give you my A through Z non-negotiables, or the things that I need, but then they don't make sure it's okay if you don't have it. It's okay if you're not the person for me.
Right.
We always want to make a fit. We always want to make a fit.
Absolutely.
When everybody you engage and encounter, they're not your person.
Yeah.
And we have to be okay with someone not being our person. And I think that I was okay if you were not my person, because if you said that doesn't work for me, I was okay with that.
Right.
Because I think I was okay with who I was in the person that I was, the least I had become to be. I was okay with that person. That's another thing. I think that so often, or all too often, people engage in wanting to be in a relationship when they're not okay by themselves.
True. So you tend to basically, in situations like that, like you were saying, you force fit a person, into a situation that is really not possibly becoming of them. You fall in love with the person of potential that you see in front of you at the moment. And
Or who you want them to be.
I was getting ready to go there.
Sorry.
Or you end up creating a build-a-man or a build-a-woman. You piece all of these different pieces together of what you want them to be, or what oh man, I can really see them being like this in the future. And you fall in love with the actual thought of what you've put together in your mind concerning that person. And that person may not even ever be able to reach the potential or reach the actual, what it is that you see, the vision that you see of them.
So while you check in the comments, I'm going to go there because you made me think of something. So one of the issues in my research was social media has dramatically changed how people think about dating. But many of its most popular narratives are driven by algorithms rather than evidence. Research in psychology and communication suggests that emotionally charged and polarizing content tends to receive more engagement, which can distort perceptions of relationships. I say all that to say is we have distorted minds and perceptions if we think that what we see on social media is actually what goes on behind closed doors.
Wow.
That is not realistic dating.
We see it all the time. So let me get to some of these comments. Artina says, I think it's less about a time frame or how long and more about once you know things are not going to get past potential.
Yeah.
And these are some that we kind of came back a little bit earlier. Opposites attract, she says as well. And yes, honesty is key, she says as well. Christy says, self-awareness. Come on up, there we go. Self-awareness. If you don't have it, be single.
I agree.
And I would agree with that. And y'all please forgive our son.
Yeah, he's throwing a whole
He's throwing a whole fit today. He's showing out today. He been kind of cutting up. but he'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
He
He'll
will be fine.
So, some of the common issues with social media dating narratives are: one, they amplify extremes; two, they reinforce gender stereotypes; three, they encourage an us versus them mindset; and four, they create unrealistic expectations. They lead people to be confused about financial status with character, chemistry with compatibility, and attention with commitment. Ooh, attention versus commitment.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Wow.
So just because a person is giving you attention don't mean that they want to give you a commitment.
No. And we see that all the time, especially in this social media age. There are so many people. There's so many people that we see that are celebrities, and then, people of, I don't know what you want to call it, notable, whatever.
High profile
Yeah,
folks.
that jump into these relationships.
Influencers.
Yeah, they jump into these relationships and different things. That person is giving them attention, and it looked real good on the surface. Again, going back, it looks good on paper. I make this much money. This person makes this much money. Oh, then what? Don't we look cute together as a couple? And no, don't we?
So
do
is
this?
it okay? Is it okay if a person isn't making what you feel like your mate want your mate to make? How does financial status play into as far as dating, or how did it for you? Or did that even play a part when you were deciding to date?
You know what? I honestly didn't even look at that. I really didn't. I didn't pay attention to it. I don't think it was something that was necessarily a prerequisite for you to be making X amount of dollars, or anything like that. I do believe that, you know, for me, as a person, what I didn't want to do is I always wanted to make more money. So if that means that I had to work two jobs to get to where I wanted to be, then that was fine. Now, if we just being honest, because I actually had somebody ask me this a long time ago. They were wondering how, just not being nosy, but if you made more money than me, how did that make me feel, in a sense? And let's just be honest. With your master's degree and stuff, you've been making more money than me. Now, that wasn't something that made me feel inferior or less than.
You didn't never tell me about this. That's why I'm looking crazy.
It's all right. It's just a question that somebody asked me a long, long time ago.
Okay.
And I've never felt inferior. I think you know that, though. I've never felt inferior, like, oh my gosh, she's making so much more money than me. That was never an issue for me. My target and what my eye was on was, hey, I want to make more money because this is going to help our household. I want to make more money because I want to make more money. So what can I do to make more money? As time has gone on, as you know, I went from X amount a year to X amount a year to X amount a year. You know what I'm saying? But what I did is I had a goal, and this is what I want to do, and this is about what I want to make here, because I still have this on the other side. You know what I mean? And so I've never had that issue, but I do know that there are people that do have that issue. And especially if the woman is making more, that's a slap in the face to some men, and I don't understand why if you're a team, but that's the thing.
And it's funny you say that, because there are a lot of women who feel like, a man has to make a certain amount and they got to be up here at this status quo and this, that, and the third. And I think for me, it was never about the amount, but I needed you to be able to provide.
Yes.
And so for me, it was, I needed you to be able to provide, and not just provide for me, but provide for me and my children.
And the kids, absolutely. And so.
And I mean, I don't think that was any of anybody's business, but now, it's Us Unfiltered. So
it was somebody that was close.
It is what it is. It's all out there and whatever.
Yeah, it was somebody that was close.
I think that financially speaking, who makes more or whatever has never been the problem because you've always been the provider of the household. You've always been the provider. And I think, I don't know, I guess that's where people go wrong. They look at a number versus the value of what's being brought to the table.
But that's the thing. Society has painted a norm, especially for women, that I want a provider, I want a provider, I want a provider. And 95% of women equate being a provider to the monetary. If a man, if all he has to do is be able to provide for you monetarily, I'm going to ask the question, what type of man do you have?
Well, and the flip side of that, and I'm probably gonna make some women mad, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I take that back. I'm not sorry. But I feel like this, and you guys can drop how you feel about it, men, women, whatever, in the comments. I feel like this. If we're in this together, because I see this argument all the time on podcasts, I see it across social media. Oh, I'm not going 50-50. I'm not going 80-20. He needs to be able to cover all of this, that, and the third. And I hate to say it, but a lot of women that I see carrying upon this rah-rah conversation don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. What you require of a man, you can't put on the table for yourself. And I believe that's wrong. I don't want to require Norris to do nothing for me that I can't do for myself. And a lot of women will go back and forth with me.
They will.
On that. But that's how I feel. And I feel like, what kind of woman, what kind of mate, what kind of dating partner would I be where I want to go to these luxurious restaurants, but you're going to take the tab all the time?
Right.
And that's whether I made more money, you make. It's not even about who makes what. It's about we in this together.
Right.
So again, like you said, partnership. But if there's one thing that drives me up the wall, and you know I've told you this before, and I've told my daughters, don't expect a man to do nothing for you you won't do for, and you can't do for yourself, minus change a tire or something mechanical on a car or the house.
Right. And a lot of men are looking at that in this day and time.
And so I just feel like social media has painted a false narrative for young women to where they believe that TikTok says this is how I'm supposed to be living. TikTok says I'm supposed to have these bags and this and that and the third.
Right.
And I'm supposed to be able to stay at home and do nothing else. Now, the other side of that is I do also believe that it's not a woman's job solely to take care of everything at the house, meaning wash the dishes, do the laundry. I think everything surrounding the relationship requires partnership.
I believe that it requires partnership. And I mean, for me.
And this ain't the Brady Bunch.
No. I mean.
It ain't Good Times. It ain't none of them shows.
You've been blessed with somebody that is very domestic. Thank God for my grandma. You've been blessed. So I don't have a problem with washing clothes. If I want to wash them, I'm going to wash them. If I want to wash dishes, I'm going to wash them. If I want to cook, I'm going to cook. Because I can do all of these things, and I do all of these things well. But going back to what I was saying, for a woman to solely believe that being a provider is strictly a financial deal, I really struggle with you. And the reason that I say that is because providing is so much more than the monetary. Can you provide safety for me? Can you provide an environment for me to be able to come to you with my issues and my problems and talk to you about it in a civil manner, as my man? Can you put me in a position, to where if there's something that I want to do, how can you help aid me in that? And I'm not talking about necessarily a financial thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? How can you help me emotionally? Because I'm struggling over here in this area, and I really don't have a lot of people to talk to. Can I lean on you? Can you help me to understand certain things, that may be going on in my life? There's so much more to being a provider. And I'm getting ready to say something, and it's probably going to ruffle some feathers. Please, as a woman, do not say that the reward for a man doing all of this stuff is sex. Because let's just be honest, any woman has, I mean, all of y'all got the same thing. But there are people in this day and time that will literally say, well, this man, he provides this, he does this, he does this, he does this. And then when somebody asks him, well, what do you give? How do you support? I give him sex.
Right.
Girl, please.
That's easy.
That's easy. He don't even have to be in love with you to go get that. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But I think that some of that comes from, I don't want to say a slave mentality, but I think that some of us were raised by women that believe that if you're having sex with a man, because now I do think that men should hold some responsibility if you're having sex with a woman, but that's my personal belief, and vice versa, because there's a lot that goes along with sex and the responsibility behind it.
Absolutely.
But I don't believe that it's I have sex with you and you pay my bill.
Transaction.
I couldn't have said it better.
And we talked about that. And for those of you that missed our announcement on our last podcast, we were able to be a part of a very, very good podcast. What day was that?
Wednesday.
On Wednesday, last Wednesday. And the episode will come out, I believe she said, in November. But it was the Loving You Before, or Loving Me Before I Love You podcast by Coach Tammy. And we talked about generational wounds, and this is something that we talked about.
Yeah.
Transitional love, or transactional love, which a lot of people are engaging in even to this very day, and not even necessarily knowing or understanding that that's what they're doing.
Or why they're doing it.
Right. And there was a question that she had asked us that had us stumped. I mean, that question had us stumped. But the episode will come out. We'll make sure that we let you know all about it when it comes out, so that you guys are able to view it.
So while he's looking through some more comments, I pose a question to our audience. What are some of the pros and the cons that you have encountered in your dating experience? What are some of the pros and cons that you have encountered in your dating experience? I'm just interested. So I asked ChatGPT, what are the pros and cons of dating in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s? And these were the results. Dating can be rewarding at any age, but the opportunities and challenges often shift with life stage, priorities, and experience. While everyone's journey is unique, here are some common patterns. In your 20s, the pros are more opportunities to meet people, time to explore, compatibility, personal growth. The cons are emotionally immature for some, uncertainty, and finances, changing life goals. In your 30s, the pros are greater self-awareness, clearer relationship goals, and increased emotional maturity, more financial stability. The cons are smaller dating pool in some areas, balancing relationships, pressure around marriage, or encountering people with previous long-term relationship issues. In your 40s, it is confidence and personal values, less likely to settle, emotional resilience, financial stability for many, and appreciation for healthy relationships. The con is blended family dynamics, co-parenting, looks like issues surrounding divorce or loss, established habits that merge, I guess, I don't know what the other word was, and fewer available partners in some areas. In your 50s, the pros are strong sense of identity, greater emotional intelligence, less concern with impressing others. Relationships often focus on companionship and shared values. Children may be independent. And the con for in your 50s was widowhood or divorce can affect trust. Healing may become more relevant, and caregiving responsibility for aging parents.
That's a whole
lots of things to carry on. And did you notice as we increase the decade age realm that the person is becoming more emotionally stable, more stability and confidence in who and what they wanted,
Yeah.
and that children became a factor, like in your 30s and co-parenting and things of that nature. You got some comments?
Yes. So Christy, again, she says social media, ooh we first. Social media exposes hidden desires and agendas. And she is telling the whole truth. And then she says also that it's about, can you carry the weight legally?
Oh, that's good.
That is very, very good.
That's good. If you know, you know.
Right. Margaret Ingram says, providing is not always financial.
That's very true, especially with women.
She also mentions the word reciprocation, which is a very, very, very
Yeah, it
strong
goes
word.
both ways.
Oh, Mama Gail. Hey, Mama Gail, love you. She just basically gave us a nice amen. And then Christy also says, and those are the things: provision, protection, emotionally, physically, mentally. Is he coming with honest intentions?
Yes. Intentions. What are your intentions? And that's funny that Christy mentioned that word, because that was one of the things that I was very
Oh my
serious
gosh.
about. Well, what are your intentions?
Yeah,
What is it that you want?
yeah. And the truth, we was cool in the beginning. She gon' die on that sword saying I was trying to holler and I wasn't originally. I'm gonna hold on to that.
On to the next.
I'm gonna hold on to no, because that's what we were talking about. That's actually where
Your intentions,
that's
you
where
were
it came
intentionally
from.
just wanting to be a nice, you were just being a nice guy.
In the very, very beginning, absolutely. Yes.
Very, very, very beginning.
In the very beginning.
Here we go.
Yes, that's what it was. And then the more that we talk, then things begin to change. So that is the truth. And that's how that went.
Wow. So I asked, moving on, I asked ChatGPT another question because I was really interested in this. Research on dating in the Black community. So what are some of the issues that or things that are important with regard to dating in the Black community? And it says that experiences that people have gone through are shaped by a combination of culture, family values, faith, economics, education, gender ratios, and structural factors such as racial discrimination and incarceration. Some of the themes that consistently emerge from the research were: one, family and community play a significant role. Many Black families emphasize strong family involvement, respect for elders, extended family support, and collective responsibility. We're dating for the family too.
Wow.
So you just can't come date me.
Right.
You got to date all four of us.
It's a package.
It's a package. Research has found that religious involvement is associated with, because it says that faith has a large important influence on dating, greater interest in long-term commitment, higher relationship satisfaction, and shared values regarding marriage and family. Researchers caution against viewing dating patterns as simply personal choices. Several structural factors influence partner availability and relationship formation, including educational differences, employment opportunities, income inequality, there we go, with finances again, higher incarceration rates among Black men, residential segregation, and experiences with racial discrimination. So I have a question for you with regard to, since we're talking finances, I saw somewhere, and it's been a while because I haven't saw it lately, but I've heard this conversation where, and we had to do it in marriage counseling. What's your credit score? Where does or how does a person's credit score, and in y'all's opinion, family, how does that play a part in who you dating? Because we're married.
Right.
So how does it play a part of you dating? And I will say that for me, I would never say it played a major role, but I will say it's important for an individual to be able to pay their bills, pay them on time.
Right.
Be self-sufficient. Don't come to me thinking that I'm going to be your savior and take care of you financially and you can't take care of yourself.
Right.
and show me some consistency. Show me how you live your life financially, and are you able to to carry the lifestyle that you put forth
Right.
out front to everybody? Because a lot of people are what was the word we used earlier? The representative
Right.
has all these things. The representative lives well, drives a nice car, but the representative is in the hole and all the way down the rabbit hole in red. That to me is dishonesty.
Okay.
Now, a person saying, "Hey, I done went through a divorce. I feeding my kids was more important at one
Right.
time, so I'm digging myself out of this. This is where I'm at, but this is where I'm at. And honestly, this is where I'm at. I can handle that."
Right.
Because then you can have a plan on how we gonna get to the next level, or where are we going with this. And so I think, to me, I applaud that much better than a 850 credit score and you talking down on a person, and you're not a good person. Let me just put that.
Okay.
I would rather have a lower credit score than a higher one, if the higher one means that I have to deal with somebody who's not nice.
And y'all heard it.
I'm just saying.
And
I
don't
just
think there's
would,
anything wrong
because
with that.
I have, in my experience, a lot of men that were very financially stable and well-to-do were not. I was too much for them. I needed to always be kept in my place. So I needed to lessen my voice, lessen my opinion, lessen my knowledge and the person that I am, in order to make them feel comfortable with where they were at. And that's my
Wow.
experience. That was my experience in dating. And I'm never going to do that.
And-
I don't care what your credit score is.
But I don't. I mean, and you shouldn't need to, because at the end of the day, I mean, just like you said, I believe that everybody goes through something, and there are going to be times where you're up. There are going to be times where you're down. There are going to be times where your credit might be, really good. There are going to be times, depending on what you go through, that it may not be not so good. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'll just be honest. I never even. I can't even say that was an issue for me. I guess I just never.
I don't think it was an issue in our
No,
relationship. It was
I mean, not
actually,
at all.
I
I
think,
mean,
strange, but it opened our eyes when we
Right.
had to, like, literally pull our credit report and bring it to marriage counseling.
yeah, you know,
And I was like, "Ooh, he gonna see my shopping habits."
it's just, like you said, I don't think it's ever was a thing for us. I don't think it's ever really been a thing for me. Period. I do believe that. I mean, if you want better, that you have to do better, and so that means that you have to make some, choices. If you know that you have a super bad shopping habit, you probably need to work on that. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you have to give up shopping totally, but sometimes, man, you have to weigh the pros and cons of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Is it for the betterment of you or for the betterment of us? If it's
Right.
going to be for the betterment of us, okay, well, what do we need to do?
What are our goals?
Yeah, what are our goals in order to, what are we wanting to reach? And if that means that I have to do something singularly and you have to do something singularly in order for us to be able to meet those goals, if we are truly a team and that's something that we really want to do, okay, then this is just what we need to do.
I agree.
And that's just what it is. We got a couple of comments. Christy asked a very good question. Dating, is it even real anymore?
Christy, I think social media and, as my brother would call it, face play, has put such a dent in people showing up authentically who they are.
Right.
And I think social media puts a lot of pressure on what a man should look like and what a woman should look like, that we put up such a front and such a facade on what we have and who we are and how smart we are and how many degrees we are, when a lot of us just want to know the real person.
Yeah.
Like, the real person. Who are you? What do you have to offer? And is it something that we can build upon?
Good stuff.
So I mean, That's a good question.
It's
Is
a
it
very
real
good
anymore?
question.
If I had to go back for some reason, if Norris was to die, I don't think I would ever date again.
Please don't let that be no time soon, Lord.
No, I'm just it's us unfiltered, and that's just real.
But it's
I don't
it's a
think I
definite
ever
question.
I don't think I would ever go there again.
I've already said I wouldn't.
I'm
I mean,
good.
if something was to happen to you,
Like
I already know.
I'm
cool.
knocking on 50's door.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good.
cool. I'm cool. I don't need to necessarily do that.
Because
Denise,
it's dangerous out in them streets.
yeah, it is.
Oof.
Denise Daniel says, I don't disclose anything about my finances until I know we are heading toward marriage. Christy
I like
says,
that.
Lisa, I get that. And Lord, don't have the ability to articulate and inquire in depth.
No, they just some men are intimidated, and I'm speaking from my experience. I'm not saying all men are this way, but I noticed for a lot of men that are at the higher income level, meaning they make six figures and above, they have a problem with women who either can match where they're at or women that can articulate their wants and their needs and their desires and be very outward with what they want and what they're looking for. They can't handle it. Like, I'd be like, oh, I think I got ghosted.
Right.
Did I get ghosted?
That's true.
And for initially that was for me, because I'm very sensitive, that was kind of hurtful because I think I'm a kind of cool chick.
Yeah.
I think I'm a kind of cool
You
chick.
cool.
But I got ghosted like a couple times because I was like, oh. And I don't know if it was too honest with what I wanted, but I make my intentions very clear. And it's okay because, God has something different in mind for me, but it does make professional women, women who have something to bring to the table, women who lead good lives for themselves and are able to provide for themselves and their children. It leads them to sometimes think, well, what's wrong with me? I mean, I wouldn't say I'm, the best looking ever, but dang, what we really looking for? I was a few pounds overweight, but y'all see I got it off. Like, is it because I'm fat? I mean, like literally, literally, if you're not careful, it will make you question what was wrong with you.
Right.
And I had to get beyond that. The problem wasn't within me. The problem was within them. So you go find somebody, you're lesser, and I'm good.
Right. So we got a few more comments, and then we're going to go to our question of the night because our son is not going to let us be great.
We apologize, y'all.
So Denise Daniels, she says, I'm not ever dating again. Oh, man.
I totally understand.
I get it. I do. I get that, Denise, I do. Mama Gail says, social media has allowed people to wear many masks.
Yes, ma'am.
She said a word.
Again. Many masks.
That's a word, Mama. And then Christy also says, and probably our last comment for the night, and dig and expose their brokenness. And that's what happens.
That's exactly what it is.
When you dig and you find out, people really don't. Now, let me not say that. I believe it depends on who it is that you're with. But for the most part, surface-wise, people don't really like to expose themselves in a way where it seems as though it makes them vulnerable.
Yeah.
And having a person in my wife who does dig, who you know what I mean? That was a hard thing for me.
Out the gate.
But again, the space was created, and I just had to allow myself to recognize that the space was created and rest in the space. Yeah. Because had the space not been created, then it would have been an emphatic no, or you would have gotten surface answers.
Or I'd have got ghosted.
Nah, I don't know if I'd have did that. I liked you a little bit too much to do that. So anyway, y'all. We want to thank y'all for coming on.
This was great conversation. Yes, we might need to have a part two.
We might have a part two. We might have a part two.
Maybe we can get a guest. Just maybe.
We might do that.
Maybe in the fall we'll have a part two and have a guest.
So let me put this out there then. If you want to be a guest on the His Voice, Her Vibe podcast, please hit our email, hisv@gmail.com.
Yes.
Again, hisv@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, we would love to have you.
You can also, if it's easier,
Inbox us.
just inbox.
Yeah, you can do that too. But we want to drive some traffic to our email as
Yes,
well.
please.
So definitely do that. By way of announcement, July 11th, we will be back in Wichita. I know we made a announcement on the last podcast, but we want to put it in your ears again that we will be in Wichita as a part of the panel for the Womb Wellness and Men's Mental Health Conference that's going to be going on. Shanita, what's her last name? I'm sorry. Uh-oh. You've seen the flyers.
I mean, all I can think of is her business. I call her Miss Shanita because that's
Okay.
what my kids call her. But
Okay.
Sensual Solutions.
Yes.
Yeah. Her
She's-
spa.
She is the owner of Sensual Solutions Spa, and
She's
I
a
think-
doula.
Yes.
She talks all things women's womb wellness. She is that chick.
Yeah, I think this is her 5th or 6th conference, and she actually asked us to come to Wichita to be a part of this panel.
Yeah.
And so we are excited to be able to come again, July 11th. It's on a Saturday. We've been posting the flyers, but you can go to her website, her business website, and you can purchase. If you put in the code Henderson, our last name, if you put the code in, again, Henderson, our last name, then you can get $10 off your ticket. So again, July 11th, that's on a Saturday. It's a brunch. So you don't want to miss it. Good food, good conversation. Again, myself, my wife will be on the panel. A good friend of ours, Carmen Moore, she'll be on the panel. Essex Sims, I know him as Terrier Rail because I've known him practically all his life. Like a little brother to me. He'll be on the panel along with some other people. And so you don't want to miss out on that.
You can grab tickets while
Yes.
he's getting his
Yes.
question together at centralselectionsandspa.com. Her last name it says Haynes Her Way on social media, but that is
Okay.
not her last name. Miss Shanita, but that is her business. And you can get tickets there. Again, there will be brunch, there'll be vendors and a panel and more.
It's going to be
So-
off the chain.
This is the 5th annual Womb Wellness event, including men's mental health.
Yes. And yes, Denise, it starts with an H. Henderson. I don't know if I'm a little bit stuffy, so it may sound like I'm saying Anderson, but it's Henderson with an H, like Harry and the Hendersons. All right, we're on to the last segment of the night. Yes, you say, we say. This is our question and answer segment where we take questions that people have actually sent us, and we actually answer them live online. And so tonight's question is, how do you handle differences in communication styles? How do you handle differences in communication styles? I think we can really, really answer this openly and honestly, because we had two totally different styles of communication.
I think I struggled in the beginning. I struggled because I'm a major communicator, and I have a need for a mate, a spouse, significant other to communicate openly and honestly with me, because I believe that vulnerability is important. And if you can't communicate, then it's very hard to be totally vulnerable with your mate. And so in the beginning, it was very difficult because Noor saw communicating as argumenting.
Yes.
It's arguing, and it's an argument if I say we need to talk, which wasn't always the case. And so it took a lot of time and understanding and time to realize why he struggled with communication and confrontation.
Right.
And so I think I had to learn what looks confrontational to him is communication to me. So I had to respect his position, but also allow him the space and opportunity to heal through situations so that he could realize that communication didn't mean confrontation.
And I had to unlearn that. I had to unlearn that what I felt was confrontation was actually communication. Um, I think that traumatic experiences that played in my life put me in a position to where I felt like um, I was communicating by not communicating, and I know that's going to sound crazy. Why what I said, but my communication was, okay, we can talk about this for a minute, but as soon as I feel like it's getting ready to go in a direction I don't want it to go, then I'm done talking. I'm done talking. I don't want to talk no more. I'm not getting ready to argue with you. That was my famous
Yep, the
line.
cop out line
I'm not
was,
getting ready to argue with you. And then for me, because I
I'm
could
going
feel
to my
myself, yeah,
apartment.
I could feel myself getting upset, and really I'm pushing myself, not really knowing that I'm doing this, but I'm pushing myself to be upset because instead of listening to hear, I'm listening to respond, and I'm hearing tone, and I don't like the tone in which you're talking to me. I don't like that your voice is loud and it carries. Even, I mean, that's just your voice. But in my mind, I don't like that your voice seems loud and it seems like you're raising it and your voice is carrying and you're not going to talk to me like that. So, with that being said,
I'm going
I'm
home.
going home. I'm out because I'm not getting ready to argue with you. You argue with yourself. I'm not getting ready to do it. And so it took some time for me to pray, process, mature in that area. And I thank God because now our discussions that we have, and let me, because when I say very rarely, I don't even think we actually have arguments. We have disagreements. I believe that we've matured to a point to where we have learned to agree to disagree. If she feels strongly about something, and I feel strongly about something, and it just does not seem like we're going to agree on it, okay, we'll just have to agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily mean we're just sweeping it under the rug and it's done and it's over with, because in some way, shape, or form, it'll always come back, up later. But I also believe that sometimes because it comes back up later and we've had a chance to process it and just kind of go through some things and have more discussions, that it has made it easier for us to
I agree.
discuss it then as opposed to when it was happening in that moment. And so learning how to take the cues and just kind of, really look at things for how they really are and not lead with emotion, I believe is what helped us to be able to really work, on our communication
And I think
styles.
we had to be open to
To
changing,
change, absolutely.
being flexible is what I'll
Yes.
say. Not necessarily changing because I still holler sometimes, but I think that we had to learn to be flexible.
Yeah.
He had to realize, my history and where I came from and how some things that I had experienced caused me to respond or even,
Yeah.
act the way I did. And I think it takes a lot of grace. It takes a lot of grace, especially at our age. We got married in our 40s. And it takes a lot of grace to unlearn things that aren't healthy. And it takes grace to be willing to learn and understand your partner at this phase of life.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to take, I don't want to say criticism, but you have to be willing to listen to what somebody is saying and what they're bringing to you and not be so defensive.
Right.
I think that we went through an initial phase of defense, 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 defense
On
all the
both
time.
sides. Yes.
And we had to realize that if we stayed that way, we were never gonna make it.
I don't want to be in the boxing ring with my partner every day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe that we both had gotten to a point. We're not trying to box it. We're not enemies. We're not enemies. I'm not your enemy. You're not my enemy. I love you. You love me. And if we love each other, what do we need to do? Because we have work that needs to be done on both ends in order for us to be able to make this thing work. thank God, I believe that we've gotten to a place, like I said, where we don't have arguments, like that. Now we have some spirited discussions at times, but even those are far and few between. So thank God for growth. Thank God for development. Thank God for, being able to mature in areas. And thank God for not operating in trauma like we were
Ooh, now that's a good one.
in the beginning.
And thank God for y'all.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all chiming
We
in
love y'all.
tonight.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for showing up, showing out as always. Thank you for
Yes.
every comment.
Yes. We
So,
appreciate y'all.
yeah,
And Christy,
yeah.
I don't know about flying you out just yet. We ain't got the big time yet, but y'all get to sharing and liking and getting people to come on. We might get there.
We might get there.
But now we will Zoom you in. We will. We are more than willing to send
Yeah.
some links and get you on. So
Yeah. So,
we're gonna hold you to that. When we call you or send you an email or whatever, you just know.
Yeah.
Show up.
But let us
we
know.
definitely you'd be a great guest to have.
Let us know. Let us know. So, without further ado, we thank y'all for coming on to another episode of the His Voice, Her Vibe podcast.
Yes.
I am your co-host, Norris Henderson.
And I'm the fabulous and fly Lisa Henderson.
And she is fabulous and fly. Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all.
Happy Sunday, y'all.
We will see y'all
Peace out.
next time. Be blessed and have a good one.